Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for clicking and joining us. What we're about to do today is start a new journal. I was gathering up pieces, and this is going to be our little ties and everything. It goes with the colors of the kit. And so I have this teal, and look, I have this pink. It's actually called Tea Party. Is that not the cutest? I got 2 packs of that. But like I said, when Michael's had that Black Friday sale and all their paper packs were like $2, I bought one of every color they had. Because at that time I was planning on, making a lot of mini albums. Didn't know that I was going to, at that point in time of this year, start into having a YouTube channel as yet. So I went and bought up a bunch of different colors of cardstock to make my books with. So now, probably shouldn't have cut everything apart, but I had to cut everything apart so I could get started in making the journal. You know what I'm saying? So I pulled all this apart. This box here is my big box of just rose papers. So we're going to go through that in a minute. This I pulled. It's going to be the inside cover of my journal. Alright. So a lot of this may be organizational stuff, and I'm needing help on what to do for the cover. Now I am really wanting to frill this thing out because it's, tea party, and I'm wanting to just go all full on, juiced up, blinged out girly girl. So the kit that I'm using, I got from Kathleen Angel Designs on Etsy, and it is Tea and Bloom. It was 190 pieces for $1. And let me tell you, when I say this kit is beautiful, I folded it and I was thinking about doing 8 signatures. That's another thing we need to get into. So I was wanting to do 8 signatures. So, but this is going to be, that would be the front, and that's going to be the back. So I was like, yes. And this came from one of those Hobby Lobby pads. What the heck was it named? Of course, I got it covered up with something else, wouldn't you know it. Let's just pull all the stuff out, you know what I'm saying? It is Vintage Florals from Hobby Lobby. That's where these papers came from. Ugh. So now, what I'm wanting to do is I want to do a Amazon folder, the other half of the one that we used. So what I did is I take them, instead of using both sides of the envelope, I'll split it. You can see where I tore it apart. And I'll cut the flat piece off. And then sometimes I'll just take a X-Acto knife here, and I'll just cut along the end piece. But you can see where I pulled it apart so I can make 2 journals out of one package. So now what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to do 8 signatures. And I'm thinking it's going to work. Because I'm not going to, add a bunch of papers. I think that will work. But I don't know if I need to put like if I need to put a piece of cardboard into my spine, which I think is probably what I'm going to wind up doing, to be honest with you. Just so I can decorate it up. And then I'm wanting to do this lace that I got from Hobby Lobby. I want to do that on the front. You can see, I'll put my hand under it so you can see. I mean, that's just not beautiful. So what I want to do is I want to cut this down, and I'm going to leave the width of it, but I'm going to cut the height down to about 1 inch or so longer than the papers. And I want to cover this whole outside with this lace. And then my closure, you know, of course, it's going to be this. So that's what I'm thinking that I'm wanting to do with the cover bit. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to put a piece of cardboard at least an inch wide in here. Maybe 2 inches. I might have to do 2 inches. Ooh, if I do that, that's going to bring it down to 5. If I do an inch, it'll bring it down to 6, which is normal width of a journal. And I think I can do that. I think. I hope. Who knows? Alright, so I'm going to do, like I said, this is going to be my inside cover piece. This. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I'm probably going to wind up, because I was wanting to put, you know, I don't want to, I'm going to put it in here just like this. So that's going to be my front with that. And then that will be the back with this. And I'm thinking that will go with the back because it's a little more, has a little more stuff in it. But that, and then I pulled this piece out just for the pinks and the golds in it, because the dishes and the teacups have gold on it. So then I pulled this sheet with, you know, the pinky blue, the pinky purpley blue color. And then I pulled this sheet, and the only reason I pulled this sheet is because seeing this right here, it has the rose bit, so I want that as a tag to go in the piece that has the teal on it. So yeah, so that's what I was thinking. All right, so those are our pieces that I pulled that were non-kit wise. And then, you know, to do all of my backing on stuff, I'm going to use these to back my tags and stuff with, and journal cards, because it's pretty. You can write on it, and it goes with the kit. I've got all kinds of stuff pulled. I got all my blings. I got all these ledge pocket runners or page runner things. These bits here. This I thought would be cute with the spoons and stuff. I'll probably use every bit of these, just decorating up tags and stuff. And these bits here. And I love this. I think this is so pretty. This is way, way back when, from scrapbooking days. I don't even know how old that is. So, you know, then we got the usual suspects from Dollar Tree, Temu, bling, you know. And then this is the good old Dollar General dollar pack bling. And then I even pulled out some real pretty, now these are way back in the day, like photo corners. I was thinking about putting on the edges of the, pages. I thought that would be cute on some of the papers. I don't know. We'll see about that. Or may, you know, we'll see about that. So this is what I do to prepare to start a new journal. Any and everything, I'm like, oh, that would be cute. You know, and I may not even touch it, may not even look at it, but it's pulled and it's here if we want it. And then there is some peachy, teals, and blues in this. So I pulled all of these. All of this lace to work on here. These I thought would be good to do some pretty dressed up pockets and tags. So I've got all of the lace colored bits, you know, peaches, blues, teal, they're peachy, teal. So we got all of our lace bits. Pulled all of that out last night. And then, like I said, that's gold and, yeah, so then I have even this for the beige, because, you know, we're going to try to get it used up. All right, so now with all that being said, I need to get this tray over here so I can show you what I was doing with my kit. All right, so the papers that came in the kit, it kind of, to me, looked like it had, you know, 8 different sections. So that's what I did. I just pulled it and put, you know, 8 different sections. So that's what I was wanting to do, and have 8 small signatures in my journal. So this is the first one. So that's the front and the back. So then, can't get it open. And so then you can write here, right here, and then it had these beautiful floral pages. I just printed front and back of them. So, and then, yeah. So that was my thinking on that. So that would be the first signature. Is that not so pretty? And you could really do different florals in here as if you wanted to. Like if I need to pull some extra floral bits, I got them. I got a whole mason jar full, and I got another little box over here I just found under my bed full of little floral bits that would go with this, color bit wise. So this one here, when it had the blue on it, I thought that would go with that. Loved it. Now this is all just pages from the kit. I did not add any extra pages in this. And the background to this was in the kit as well. So I didn't have to pull anything extra from my so-called, you know, stash stuff. So yep. And see, and then this I thought went good with that, with the, and that's where I'm saying it's got like the peachy tealy kind of look. The peaches and that. And see, and then that'd be pretty with the teal piece over here. A little pocket as such. So yeah. And this is the one I'm calling the teal section. And it has the peach rose flowers and stuff in it. So it's gonna, and what I'm thinking is actually in each signature is do, see, look at that, it's not so pretty. I just love it. And then see, there's the peach flowers on the back. So what I'm thinking is on each signature, do a pocket here and a pocket here. And then having, you know, a tag that with all the colors of the journal, the pink, the peach, and the teal for the front and the back. Or a journal card of some sort, something. I want to put tags in it because I want to use my lace bits, you know what I'm saying? And then this one here, and this is the reason why I pulled this with the purple bits on it, is because this section has the pink and blue, purple, you know, like that, what is that, periwinkle purple blue. So I thought this would go with this. It's got all the colors in it. Love it. So that's why I pulled that, to make some tags and dress up a few pockets and that with that. So I absolutely love it. And this background of this is more of a peach tone than, you know, like a coffee dye or a tea dye. It's more peachy. So that's why I pulled that bit. And here's another teal piece. So like I said, to me it had, you know, sections that were broke down to, and see, there's what I'm saying with the teal bit. So yeah, I absolutely love it. That's why I was like, it had, you know, to me, it had, you know, sections that went. Now, you know, yes, I probably should have just printed, you know, like I could have printed this page here. Oh, give it to me. I could have printed that and then printed this on the back of it. But why would I do that? You know, because see, I printed the background. So then it would be like this and this. You know, you have a little bit of writing space, but, you know, I wanted writing space in my journal, you know. I wanted some pretty pages, and I wanted some writing space. Love it, love it, love it. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do on these bits. Now, I could do on the floral bits in the middle, put a pocketed too, but I don't know. We may put like an angle pockets on them for, like, you know, just a journal card bit, because you can't really write a whole bunch on them, but you can write, you know, around the floral bits. I've seen people do journals like that. They'll start in a corner and just write, you know, in a maze. It's so cool to do that. And here's another floral bit. And see, we have music. So then we can add music to our journals and to our, not journals, our tag bits. Tags and journal card bits is what I was trying to spit out. But yeah, so this is how I put mine together. And see, that has like, you know, the peachy with the little floral back, with the teal background tones in it. I love it. It's just so beautiful. So I was wanting to go, you know, full on girly girl on it with the laced up journal front. And so then I was going to take and have 8 signatures and sew them in. And that's going to take me a hot minute. But I'm pretty sure that I'm going to need, I might need to get me just a cereal box, to be honest, y'all, instead of this. Because if I do that, I'm going to need, because see, look, this bit right here, this is my way of thinking. This is why I'm talking to you all, because I know several of you will give me feedback and tell me, you know, and help me with my so-called ideas. Because I'm just like, I don't want to, because it's so pretty. I'm just like, oh, I know I'm doing the 8 signatures. I don't know if I can do it with this and have room, you know, to do what I want to decorate it up. Because, you know, you do a pocket. So if you do a pocket here and here, and you have 8 signatures, that's 2 pockets. So that's 16 pockets. And then you do 2 to 3 tags and journal cards, or journal cards. You know, see what I'm saying? And then if you do like a cornered pocket here and put a journal card in it, that's a lot. I mean, that's going to be a bit. But we're going to do that. So this is 7 inches. And if I take and put a 2-inch spine in there, that's going to put me back to 5 inches. And then my pages are going to stick out because they're 5.5. You see what I'm saying? So I think I need to hunt and see if I ain't got a cereal box up here in my stash. Let me see what I got. Yep, there's that saving that to do our sunflower bit with. I worked on that one back in what was it? March, I think. Very 1st of March. These I'm saving. I'm going to take these and cut them apart and just put waterfalls in them for Christmas things. Oh, look, we got some fruit rounds, not Fruit Loops, fruit rounds. And then this, I'm going to make a book out of it. This is, I made a book out of one of these before. And it's just a piece that was inside them sheets, y'all. So I made a book out of one of these and put Velcro on it and kept that piece there. Yep, sure did. All right, that's, you know, that's a bunch of paper playing. Look yonder. Let's see how big that cereal box is. How wide it is. And see, then we ain't even got to worry about adding a spine to it. Whoa, about fell. All right. Because I didn't know if I had a cereal box up there or not. Okay, let's see. It is almost 8 inches. And you are a little over 2 inches wide. Hush up, y'all. That's it. There we go. There's our bit. What are you? You exactly are 2.5 inches. Yes, you are, buddy. Heck yes, y'all. Shut up. We got it figured out. Let me put this bit up and we'll save it to do another journal down the road. You know what I'm saying? We can't waste them envelopes. Look, I got mad at myself because with that angel journal that I did, I cut it way down. This here piece, way too far. Cut it way. Ooh, look, we can get some. Let's put some of them out. I don't know if I got any pink ones. Let me look and see. Oh, that'd be pretty in here, wouldn't it? Let's use some of them decorative bits. Seeing as how we already got them out and opened up. Yep, Let's use them. Okay, because that's blue. This is my wildflower box. Okay, put that in there. Because I done got journal covers for them too. Because I got like two or three more journals in there to make. And I still got the, I still got my, what the heck are they? Strawberries. That whole big kit thing from, what was her name? Bless it. Ginger journals. Yeah, I still got that whole big strawberry kit from her. I got to back the pages on it, and I got enough of it to make like 2, maybe 3 journals. I could probably do 3 journals if I add tea dye and coffee dye papers in it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cut these flaps off. This may be a lot of racket. I love this thing right here. I wish I could get me a smaller one. But this one scares me sometimes because it has jumped off the track before. And I can use it just to cut cardboard and chipboard with. Because, you know, like I said, I do make those mini albums quite a bit for Christmas, birthdays, you know, stuff like that. And then I got a bunch of like, it's the Aldi's brand of stovetop stuffing and their brand of shells and cheese boxes. Put up with some covers inside and out to work on to make Christmas books, Christmas albums with. Now, see, and you could take this here and use it, and see where that piece right there is together. We're going to peel that apart. That's what we're going to do. But before I do that, because once I peel it apart, it's going to be really wide and long. It's going to be hard to measure that way. So, let's see. That is what? 7.5 inches. Okie dokie. That's going to be perfect. Now, I'll probably need to, I need to cover this. I need to cover it. So I'll need to pull me out a couple more pages. Just to cover that, because I'm going to cover it in lace, and I don't want that showing. Alright, so now the height of my papers is what? 8.5? I don't even know. I'm tired today, y'all. I'm sorry. I really am tired. It was a long night tonight. Yep, 7.5. And it's a standard US. It's 11 by 8.5. That's how tired I am. Alright, 8.5. So I'm going to go... I'm going to go 9.5. Because I know I'm going to put some blinged out tag toppers. You know, with the lace bits and that. I'm going to try my best to hold this. Oh, okay. There we go. Alright, so this should be... That should be the height that we need. Let me unlock that again. 9.5. Yeah, see, we can put that right in the middle. Sew our signatures in here. I almost think I want to sew my signatures in and then put the lace on the outside. That I'm probably going to do that. So we need to work on the cover first, right? And look, y'all, we can take these bits right here. Oh, this is the tags, or these stamps I printed on vellum. I love doing that. And you can do that on a lot of printers. You really can print on vellum. If it has a glossy photo option in your print settings, you can print on vellum. Because I've done it with all kinds of different printers. Bottom feed, back feed printers, whatever. Okay, so I'm thinking that we could probably take and put these under on and cover this up. And I'm not really worrying about, you know, which way it is, to be honest with you. I think I can take and just cover that the whole way around with these pieces. That's what I'm going to try to do. I think. I don't know. I think it might be better if I just get some more, get some cardstock out and do that with. Alrighty. So now, see how we have our cereal box? We've cut the flaps off, and we cut it down to 9.5 tall by 7.5 wide, because I needed, you know, the 2-inch spine. And then where it's glued together right here, we're just going to peel that open. We're going to cut these flaps off. Now my chair wants to drop me down to the floor. You know, when I'm messing with dangerous cutting things, my chair's like, hi, I got you. So now, let's cut this other flap off. And we should be pretty much squared up. That's why I like to cut all the bits off and get it to the height before I open it up. And if you really want to, you can save these pieces here. And you can make tags out of them as well if you want to. Yeah, it's just a lot of covering. It really is. Okay. And there is our journal. And we don't even have to, we don't have to reinforce it or nothing. We just got to cover it. This should. That's what I was worried about, was reinforcing that spine. Let me see. What do I want to cover it with? Because I really just need to cover the outside. Let's see what we got to work with here, y'all. Because I'm thinking of just doing that right there, because I'm going to put that lace over it. I just need the bright colors covered up is all I'm needing. Thinking about putting them like this. Let me get my lace bit over here, because I hadn't been hanging out at the Hobby Lobby too much here lately. Because, you know, Saturday and Sundays, I'm at home doing what I need to get done at home so I can work all week. Sunday they're closed, you know. Oh, look at that. Shut up. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Oh, well, let's see. Yep, that is going to be pretty. Because, you know, we did a journal cover kind of like this with this frilled up kind of lace when I did the burlap and lace journal. So that's why I was wanting to make another one of them. But later on, it's going to be as maybe a fall project. Yeah, see, look, we can do like that right there. Yes, we sure could. All right, let me get another piece here. Oh, that is going to be so pretty. So pretty. Let me see. Do I got a 12 by 12 piece of paper back here that is pink and has floral bits on it? I think I do. Oh, I got one that's got polka dots on it. That would be cute too. Polka dots. Here, let's pull out some. Is that Tim Holtz? I don't know what that is. I think that's from Hobby Lobby too. Dude, look at that. Hush up. Alright, so we're going to play with that piece too. It's over here in her stash. And see, that's awful bright on that side. And I think this was just a paper pad piece. This may have been something from Hobby Lobby, y'all. Don't know. We can use these pieces though in here, I think. Not really. I can use them in my other window because I'll put it back here with that one. Okay. Now let's see what we can do with this piece. Because see what I'm thinking? It's 7.5. See, that's the trouble I get into with trying to make the, I don't really need it to be 7.5. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of need it to be 6 inches. And the only reason I was adding inches onto it was because I was thinking about the spine. So now what am I doing? I know somebody was hollering at me. I'm catching up. I really am. I heard you. It just took me a minute. You might have been hollering from Texas there, Miss Maggie. But I heard it. I heard it. Because, see, I kept thinking I needed to add inches to the cover bits for the spine allowance. Knucklehead. Knucklehead. Now I got to get my chair up here so I can actually see the measurements on it. So now what I'm going to do to measure this is you see where it's folded here. So we're going to start there. All right. So it's 5.5. Let's do 6. Right there is 6 inches. All right. So we're going to cut it on the 6-inch mark. Right. Right. Alright, and we're going to flip it around and do the same thing again. And then I can take my 12 by 12 piece of paper that I just pulled out. What I do with it, this one, and we can put 6 inches on the front and 6 inches on the back. And then the strip that's on the front, guess what we're going to do with it? Run it down the middle. There we go. And we will have our journal cover, y'all. Finally, after what? How long is it? Oh, 30 minutes. Shoot, that ain't long. All right, let's put it here. That's 6 inches. That's the only thing I hate about this is that gap right there. Because most everything you all know that we need for our mini journals is, what is it? 5 to 6 inches. But see, you can still do 5 1/4, which that's fine with a lot of stuff. Okay, so now that's going to look a little wonky. Let's measure with this and make sure where we are. Okay, that is right over 6 inches. This chair, y'all, I swear to goodness. And that is right at 6 inches. I need to cut just a hair off. Just a smidget hair, I mean. Right there we go. Just the least little bit smidget hair. And then this side, let's check you again. With the fold. Yeah, see, it's 6 1/16. So we need to take a 1/16 off, just like we did with that one. Just a slight smidget hair. There we go. Now we're going to be close enough to where if I cut them papers at 6 inches, it's going to fit. All right. this in place and put it up. So I think I'm done with it now. I think I am. Okay. All right. Okay. I cleaned up my cutter board yesterday. Yep. Yeah, see, that's right at 6 inches. I always double check it with this, because sometimes this and that the measurements don't match. That's right at 6 inches, so I'm good. Trials and tribulations of the craft room. The chair wants to body slam you. Okay, so now we know these are 6 inches, so we need this strip here in the middle. So now I'm going to show you. It's kind of non-directional, so that is great. But see these pink pieces here on the sides? I want one on the front, one on the back. You know what I'm saying? So we need to cut it down. What do we do? 9.5 inches. I'm not gonna wrap it. Cause see, look, this is 9.5 inches tall. See, so we are, yep, 9.5 inches tall. So we're gonna cut this piece of paper down to where I can get some pink on the front and pink on the back. We're gonna cut it at 9.5 inches. And that's going to give him a strip to cover my middle of my box. Sure enough is. See that? Now watch this. Boom. There we go. There is our middle piece of our box covered. I need to trim it just a hair because I want it right up at the edge. I don't want it, you know, overlapped. I kind of did, but it's not going to because I don't have enough. And it is 2.5 inches. Yep, it's 2.5 inches. So I need it 9.5 inches tall. 9.5 inches tall. Okay, so there's this little piece. We'll put it in our scrap bits. I'll throw it up there when I can reach it. Okay, so the spine measures. Oh, I can't see it. My chair's got me lowered down. I can't see it. So I can hold it up like this and hold it straight. And then measure. What is that? 2 1/4? Did somebody see that? 2 5/16. That's a weird measurement, ain't it? Wouldn't you know I ain't got 2 5/16 on here? Come on now. Alright, we're going to do a smidge past 2 1/4. So every time I need to get up here and look down on something, this chair wants to mess with me. That's what it is. Alright, so you see how I'm raising that up and sinking my blade so that I don't cut into anything. Because if I was doing that little bitty strip and hit it like that, it would have ripped it. So then there we go. It's still just a hair too long. That's fine though. Alright, so then now we're going to cut these here. It's 6 inches. Let's make sure that this is 12 inches. I should have did that to start with. Does it measure 12 inches? Measures past 12 inches. Just a smidget past 12. That's great. And I always double check. So I see what I'm doing is I'm putting my blade in the cutter, put my paper up against my blade. Yep, okay, there we go. So now we can get this out of the way, and maybe we can glue this down. And this would actually just be pretty on its own as the cover. It really would. But if I was doing this and leaving this as the cover, I would probably wrap this in a real thin paper first, just to make sure that all of my edges, you know, were covered, which that would be a really good idea too. Why don't we do that? Thank y'all for telling me that. I got my cover papers down here. I got so much stuff in this thing right now. And I can't get to nothing because everything's sticking out of it. So I don't want to have to double cover it. I think I will just the spine piece. Just on the spine piece. For the simple fact that I know that that spine piece is going to, you know, is going to butt right up against each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason why I'm doing that. Alright, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So I put my spine piece on there. See, like this. And then when I put this piece on here, it's not going to have full coverage. It's not overlapping. So it's meeting. Does that make sense? So it's butting up against each other. Yeah, so then that way if I don't cover that underneath there, if it's off the least bit, it's going to show through. Alright. Ow! That thing come down and I had my leg up underneath it and it pinched me. Alright, so let's do this. It's just tea-dye. I'm going to do it 9.5 high and then just put it on there. Put you up there. Okay. I know this is a lot of work, a lot of yit-yakking, and I ain't done nothing. But, you know, this is the thought process of how I get to some of my journal covers and stuff. Most of the time I do all this off camera because it is a bit of a mess. And then 9 times out of 10, you know, my chair's not messing with me as bad, but as I'm telling you, if it's going to mess with me, it'll do it as soon as I hit that record button. I swear it does. Alright, so we're going to do like this here. And we're just going to overlap just for, you know, the coverage area. That's what I'm doing. And that's shiny. So I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac on it just because this is a shiny, you know. Let me see. How wide do I need you? I need you a pretty good ways, don't I? Whoops, look yonder, it moved. And I went plumb off of it again. Bless me. Because my chair's moving, and every time I move it, it's just like boom, boom, boom. I'm just going down to the floor very slowly. Okay, so I'm just going to meet top and bottom here. I don't really care about, you know, the kind of evenness on both sides. I just want it met top and bottom. Just so I know that spine's covered is all I'm doing. I'm going to pick that up real quick and get where I glued on my table off. See, that's what made those places right here on my mat was Fabri-Tac not getting it off of the tables quick. That's what might cause that to happen. Now it's sitting over here bubbling out. All right, you gotta go, buddy. Just get on out of my face. And this paper that I used to print this on is a 40-pound printer paper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of bend it. And I'm going to take and bend it again. Now I'm going to put one in here just because this is going to be pieced like the outside was. So my thinking is, you know, like I'm probably going to wind up cutting this strip here across the top because it's a little fainter. So if the direction of it's off, you know, you still got a butterfly like that, you know, like the butterflies, you know, flying sideways. So that's what I'm thinking. Now I could do, that's the only way I'm going to be able to cover that because I can't do a piece. Yep. Alrighty. So do I have any more of my personal coffee dyed? Yep, I got one piece of my so-called personal coffee dyed paper. Let's use that. Alright, so we're going to cut it down to it is 9.5. We're going to cover the inside just like we did the outside. And this is like 20-pound printer paper. And it even oxidized in the pan, if you'll see that. So we're going to do this right here with it on the inside. So then that way when we cut it and it butts up, it's got coverage. And that's why. And then that way, if I'm a little off just a hair, or, you know, one of the pieces is not 12 by 12, true 12 by 12, then we are covered. We are good. So it's the old cereal box to the rescue. I was sitting here and I didn't start shooting the video till after 1 o'clock this morning because, you know, I got home, I was tired, I rested a little bit, took some time away from everybody, me time, everything, sitting mindless scrolling on Facebook. I don't know, I get into watching the reels, you know, about the dogs and the cats talking, and it's so funny. And then, so I get caught up doing that. And then I took me a shower, and then I said, what in the world am I going to do for this cover? I can't start work on the journal until I know what I'm going to do with this cover. I really can't. Because, I mean, you know, I can make it the ephemera pieces and whatnot, but still, this cover is going to aggravate me until I get it figured out. So I'm just going to line up, you know, top and bottom like we did on the outside. Now that way when I go to put my inside covers, and then I'm just going to take and run my thing down here, my glue smoother, right in the crease, just to give that its score. See what I did there? just to give it its score. Yep, it's not on there good. Most of the time I like putting that down with my white Elmer's all-purpose wet glue, because it soaks it into the cardboard. It soaks it up good. And then I know it's stuck on there, you know what I'm saying? I know it's stuck down, like, because I could do that and fold it and it would be fine. But anyway, so I was, you know, I was tired, and I was just like, I just need a minute to myself. You know, just to, you know what I'm saying? And that's literally what I did, was just sat down and just go, but yeah. So, and I was just sitting there just like, you know, and I wasn't even thinking about nothing. I was just mindless scrolling down Facebook. I mean, literally just for a couple hours, just mindless scrolling on Facebook, watching, and I'd scroll through all the posts just to get to the reels, you know. I didn't want to read nothing. I didn't want to, you know, hear no news or celebrity nothingness, you know, all that junk. Just to get to the reels to watch, you know. So now I'll have to go through and clean out my phone for like an hour after I get off of here while I'm loading. Well, I can't do that either. I gotta load my video. But anyway, at some point in time or another, I gotta go through and clean out my phone for all the reels that I've watched, and then all the pictures that I took at work today. Just, you know, let my boss know what was up and what I was doing and all this and that. And I didn't realize at the point in time when, you know, because normally I'll send him, you know, like what's going on with the paperwork and stuff and this and that. And then apparently I was sending it in the group the whole time. So I was just like, you know, after 3 hours of doing it, why stop now? Let's just keep on sending it in the group, letting everybody know what I'm doing, you know. Because that's my job, you know, to keep him informed of what's going on in the place that he owns, you know what I'm saying? Some people find offense to that, but that's what I get paid to do. That's why I'm called the manager. So we did have, you know, like I'm like the overall store manager, because, you know, I do money and deposits and stuff like that, and I do the truck order type things, you know, do the orders and stuff. And then we had a daytime manager who, you know, was over making sure when the deliveries came that everything was checked in. We got everything that we got charged for, and everything's put in our computer system, you know, for our accountant to double check to make sure, you know, that, hey, this was a check written for it. You know, we need to make sure that it went through and it came in, and, you know, all this and that, and they didn't change the numbers on it, you know, whatever type stuff, because we have had that happen, believe it or not. Sure enough, have. One of the vendors had a truck driver that was changing numbers on the checks that he was getting, and was taking it to his actual bank now, mind you, and cashing a check. And I was like, well, most of these vendors are, you know, I don't see how he could take it to his bank and get it cashed. I didn't understand that part, but anyways. Supposedly that was what was going on with a couple of the beer delivery people. So we now, since you know, they'll send, it's I don't know, it's like an automatic draft or what have you. So it's very important that stuff is scanned and put in the computer when it shows up for what it is. And if it's not, then, you know, we have issues. Let's see. Let's do this one here. That usually does a little better holding the paper so it don't bubble. don't want to press on that too hard because it'll wind up poking a hole through it. I'm just going to take this and burnish this down like this. And I'm going to take the other one, do the same thing. Because I want it, you know, a spine, but I don't want it stiff as a board where it's going to pop open. You know what I'm saying? Give it a little bit of play. See what I mean? Alrighty. So there we go. Journal cover made. Not yet. We got to put the decorative bits on it. Alright, so let's work on the outside pieces. Put your spine down. Ooh, about headbutted the camera ring. Sorry. So we'll put our spine down. Let's see, I want this one here. Ooh, that's going to match up good there. And then that goes right there. See? How lovely. Perfect. Great. Now, if we can get it glued down like that, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's do some wet glue on it. Should be able to wet glue that now. Get us a little bit of wiggle room on it. And I know I'm right up in your face, and I know I'm probably yelling at you right now because I'm standing up doing this. I'm going to need to make me a template to put in this for the 8 signatures. I do know that much. Alright, let's see if I can get this on here. So that's why I wanted to do it with the wet glue, because you got a little bit time to wiggle with it. But with that Fabri-Tac, you got, you know, just enough to wiggle it to where it needed to go, but then after that you're done. You're done. And see, and then whatever bits is hanging over there, I'll cut that off. I will trim that up. I was more concerned about that being bubbled up right there, like it's doing. Probably should have trimmed it short. See, now, you know, the Aleene's tacky glue is working like I thought it would. You know, it'll go on and it'll catch, but you still got the wiggle room, you know what I'm saying? And it dries clear. I mean, I like it, but I don't like that it gets this clogged up all the time. I mean, like, literally all the time. Okay, so I'm probably going to trim that little bit right there. Let's see if we can do that and not cut it up. Oh, my scissors is wanting to fold it over. Why are you doing that for, knucklehead? These scissors, I tell you what, man. Me and the scissors have had a time around here. It's not wanting to let me get in there. I'm going to have to get a finer pair of scissors. There we go. Let's try these little bad boys. I mean, it's going to be covered with lace anyways, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't want it sticking up through the lace when it's, you know, when it's opened. I don't want that poking out through my lace bits. Well, see, this is why me and scissors don't get along. This is supposed to be a self-healing mat, right? Well, let's just see how self-healing it is now. Put that back up and put it over here. I don't like leaving that laying on my desk because I've seen horror stories of crafters who have left it laying and it's rolled off and hurt themselves really, really bad. This one lady was telling a story about she had left it laying on her desk and it rolled off and stuck in the top of her foot. And I was like, oh, bless your heart, honey. But, yep. Okay, so that one goes right there, right? Yep. Do I need to trim you just a slight hair? Because you're going to stick over. I know you are. Let's put this one down. We'll do the middle one in a minute. No, because I got to butt that one up to here so I can butt this one up over here. I'm sorry I hit y'all. I headbutt you. I sure did. See? That's my own fault. It's not the glue's fault. That's my fault. I left it sitting there with a lid on it. Alrighty. And like I said, you know, I probably could have had these pieces cut apart and the cover and all that pre-cut and done before I got on camera, but I was not, I was having, you know, like crafter's block or something. I don't know. I know I want that lace on the front of this thing. I know that. But I sure enough was having crafty block. I really was having it bad with this one because I was like, how in the world am I going to get that, fix that cover? I was like, you know what, let me just get on here and start working on it and start looking at the pieces and it'll come to me. Somebody will yell it and send it to me, you know. And like I said, now if I was doing this right here as the actual journal cover itself, this would be trimmed perfect. And I would have, you know, I probably would have did this piece solid here and then put a trim on the outside. And that, because you won't, and then, you know, just put a fold on it. That would have been my preferred way to have done it. But I'm wanting, ooh, be careful there. You can get paper cut, girl. Then I'm wanting this to be underneath my lace, because I'm going to put like a strip of lace here and a strip here. And then that you can see that through the lace is what I'm going for. I got hair tickle me. It's hanging down out of my bun. So I'm smacking myself thinking I got a bug or a spider or something on me, you know what I'm saying? One of them knucklehead moves. Alright, so that's not going to line up perfect. Because this piece was just a hair off. That's fine. I don't really care. Because like I said, it's shadowed behind the lace. That's fine. It'll just come out of the thing. But now, had this been, you know, like a mini album, and this was going to be the front of it, I would have wrapped this with like a white or a cream cardstock underneath it, and then put this down. and cut it and had like a 1/4 inch border under it. That would have been real pretty too. Should have did that. But no, we're going to do this. Because you know why? Because I want the lace on it. That's why. And see, laying flat, that looks really good. But now watch when I fold it up. See, we're at rounded piece there. It's wanting to come apart. I'm going to run a bead of glue down that. A bead of glue. I don't know what I said, but a bead of glue is what I'm trying to say. And then let's look at this side, see what we got over here. It's not as bad as the other side. But I'm going to run a bead of glue in this mess right here. Whoops. Well, let's just glue the whole thing while we're at it. Knucklehead. Okay. Stop it. Alright, so take our paper towel. So I'm going to have to let that dry, and hopefully it'll dry together, which is fine, because I'm not ready to work on the inside yet, so I'm going to leave this laying. I'm going to go ahead and put my lace bits on the outside of it right here in a second. I need to get me one of those. This is kind of plastic and hard. I want to get one of those that's like the smooth or the silicone, the flexed one. I don't know where to get them from. I keep checking Hobby Lobby. I thought they had them, but I don't guess they do. It's like the big Cricut smoother. It's got a handle on it, and then it kind of goes out. Looks like a shovel, kind of like. But I was wanting one of them. Just because sometimes if I put too much, I'll hit y'all again, I'm so sorry. But sometimes if I put too much glue on my stuff, it'll cut a hole in the paper. Okay, so I'm going to put you here. Do that across the top, and I want this sticking out at the top. This is gonna, where it's gathered, it's gonna be a little harder to cut, kind of, not really. Get my spatula bit out. Let's see. Yeah, see, because now it's wanting to bow up with me. Because it's got that wet glue on it, but that's okay. Trying to get a bead right at the edge to get the part where it's sewed with the ribbon in it. I'm going to get that down first, and then we can put Fabri-Tac for the rest of it, you know what I'm saying? And get it on the edge here. Get it on this edge, and then we'll just fill it in. Alright, now it's just wanting to bubble. Now it wants to come out. Good gracious. Yeah, now it wants to come out. Open it up, get that air back down in it so it'll quit. I got some right here. Get it off my table so I don't stick my stuff to it. See how that makes your, peels the paint off of that, or whatever that is. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Alright, so now. Okay, is that straight? See, this is where I'm probably going to wind up getting my head in the video, and I'm sorry. But I want to make sure that that is straight across the top, because I want that piece where it has the ribbon right at the top of it, and the lacy bit sticking over top of it. Now this, we're going to have to resituate you, buddy, because you are definitely not where I want you. Come here. Oops, let's put the lid back on it, because you know I done took the lid off of it to let the air bubbles go back down. Okay, so if I get the edges done pretty much, then, you know, we can kind of fill in the middle piece. Just where it's not bunched up is bad. That's what I'm wanting to get done here. And it's just wanting to stick to everything. Oh, I think I'm gonna like it. I think I am. Okay, I want these bits here a little bit straighter, because this is the front. Okay. See, I want it down, but I don't want it, you know, like, I still want it to have a little bit of play, you know what I mean? But not where it's coming off the book. And I'm going to give it a little more room here on this spine, just because I know that when it folds up, it's going to pull on that. There we go. Alrighty, I think I'm going to like that bit. I think I'm going to like it a lot. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. For some reason, it looks crooked, don't it? Oh. Here, just get you some glue in there and stop it. Okay. Now that we have finally started getting something done, it's probably more than past time to get off here, ain't it? Oh yeah, it's the hour and 15 minutes. Of course it is. Alright, now. Now, what did I do with my piece that I wanted to put for my trim to tie it with? Because I need that. Oh, bless your heart. What'd you do with it, knucklehead? I mean, you seriously just had all the bits and pieces right here you just showed to people. Ah, flip. There it is. Fell in between there. It sure enough did. Oh, that is so pretty. So I'm wanting to try to, see that right there is pulling up in the middle. It's like bunching up. I don't want you bunching up, buddy. Just straighten up and fly right. Oh, now it's sticking to everything but, you know, like my fingers, like it ain't supposed to be sticking to my fingers. Okay, stay. Alright, so now do I want to put that on the outside or do I want to put it on the inside? Don't know. Because what I was thinking was putting this here and then putting this piece like right here. I think I'll like it. And the bottom piece I'm going to leave dangly. Yep. Yeah, so I'm going to do this here as my tie, and then I'm going to take, so that's going to be just straight down right there as my tie. And then this I'm going to put right here underneath this, but I'm leaving it dangly so like it'll move. I'm just going to glue this strip right here. Heck yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's see, how long are you? Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4.5. It should be long enough for it to be a fat journal. Because you know good and well that's what it's going to wind up being. We ain't going to try to lie about it. Alright, so I'm just folding this in half so I can get the center marking on it. I'm going to get this down and glue the bottom top piece. I think I'll call it a video, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll check our glue spots, and we'll add any glue where necessary to make sure that it won't snag and come off. Always want to make sure that it's good and adhered to it. And I may pull some of these bits here, know. But yeah, so then I want this piece like right here, and I want it dangly. I want it to free flow. Okay, so that starts there. I need you to be cut right here. And I'm going to do it because, like I said, it's gathered, and I'm cutting from that. But this top piece is not gathered. Okay. All right, let's put these up. I'm just going to run about a 1/4 inch strip right here along this and put it down. There we go. So I had a bubble on it, and it kept bubbling out, but it was all running in that bubble. It wasn't none coming out, just barely. Okay, there we go. And we set it over here out of our way. All right, y'all, here we go. Let's put it on there. Oh, shut your face. Go over a little bit, buddy. I had to switch fingers because them was getting sticky. Oh, that's so pretty. Shut up. And then I'm going to, the reason why I wanted that like this, because I want to put tea time on it. I've got some strips that came in the kit that has tea time and a little teacup on it, and I'm going to put it right here. I think that is going to be beautiful. Okay, so thank you all for helping me, you know, work through and figure out. And sometimes, like I said, you know, I'll just be sitting and thinking and racking my brain, like, what am I going to do for this cover, or what am I, you know, how am I going to do this, you know, and I knew I wanted this lace on this cover, and I was like, well, I'm gonna make it 8 signatures, and so I need to come up with something that's bigger than that envelope, because it wasn't gonna have enough room, or I was gonna have to cut my pages down. I didn't want to do that. Oh, that's so pretty. I need to fix that piece right there. We need to tack this down good, because that is not tacked down good. Let's hang on. All right. Just move that, make sure it's not stuck to my table, because I don't want to come back tomorrow and sit down here and, you know, it's stuck to my whole pad, because that's happened too. Okay, yeah, that piece down there is stuck pretty good on the bottom, so we need to fix this corner right here, because, you know, your tie piece gets a lot of wear and tear, you know, on the edges of it and stuff. And I just want to make sure that it is good and adhered on the edges. Look, now it's volcanoing. Oop, I missed the whole white and just wiped it all in my hand. There we go. Just open it up and it'll go back down in there. I don't know. Because sometimes, you know, I'll just have these ideas of what I want it to look like. But getting it to come to light and come to fruition is, you know, a little bit different. I think that's what's throwing me off. That piece right there is wanting to flip-flop up. So all that, yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Little pieces like that, we need to come back through and adhere that down. But let's see if we can fold it. Shut up. Look. Oh, I headbutted the thing again. Hush up, y'all. Look. Don't it look like a little table, like a table cloth thingy bob? What is that? Table runner thing. You know what I'm saying. Oh, stop headbutting that thing. Yeah, we'll fold it up and see, like these pieces here. I'm going to peel that back off and get that straight. But we'll do that tomorrow. I just want to... Oh, hush up, y'all. Oh, she's pretty. Love it. And see, look, you got the little dangle bits down here that's moving. Oh, hush. Like it. Like it. I like it. I like it. Oh, I love it. Oh, surprise myself. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, like this piece here that's on the corner, I'm going to move it over and glue it down over here, you know. So, that type of finishing touches type stuff. Ooh. I just wanted to make sure there's no glue there. All right, so we're just going to let it lay here and let these pieces set in. Go ahead and put a glue on that because I pulled it completely off there. Whoops. Oh, no. Oh my Lord. Did y'all just see what I did? Oh, my goodness gracious. Ooh. I forgot that I had opened that up to get that air bubble out of there, y'all. And good Lord have mercy. I just dumped, you know, just a whole bottle, pretty much. Just a whole big old, you know, quarter cup of Fabri-Tac right on the front cover of this thing. Oh, Lord. All right, put it up. Go to bed. Go to bed. That's what we tell Snoop Dogg. Go to bed. Oh, good gracious. And then I was trying to catch it in my hands like a knucklehead, too. Well, I still love it, and it's still pretty. It's quite all right. It needed to be glued down anyways, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Lord. You knucklehead. Now it won't come out. Oh, Lord have mercy. Give me the strength. Just put it on there. It's either dumping a quarter cup of it out or it just ain't coming out at all. There we go. Let's get that flattened down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, now like the back piece is fine if it's a little fluffed up and fluffy back there. It's okay. But this up here I wanted to, and see now it's wanting to stick to my fingers. Okay. Let's just leave it alone before you mess it up even worse than it already has been. Oh, man. I wonder if somebody was sitting there going, no, don't do that. And then, yeah, that's what happened. Alrighty, well, with that being done, and you know, the professional crafter and all here. We're going to get off here tonight. I am going to go to bed. Get this video put on the upload. Hopefully it'll be uploaded by the time I wake up tomorrow. Alrighty. But thank y'all so much for allowing me to make videos and work out, you know, my visions in my head to come to life. So, and that is prettier than I thought it would be, because I was just wanting to put, you know, the lace on it. And then I was like, well, we need to cover it. But yeah, I was just going to do the brown envelope and put the lace over it. But that right there is 120% prettier than ever thought about being. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'll be fighting Fabri-Tac for the rest of the night. Alright. Y'all have a good night. I'm trying to get the Fabri-Tac off my finger so I can hit my button on my phone to turn the video off. That's what I'm really trying to do over here, y'all. Is just trying to get the Fabri-Tac off my thumb so I can turn the phone off. You know, I don't know how to edit, so it's probably going to just be in there where I dumped all that out. It wasn't too bad. I got it in time, I think. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.